Hey there friends, welcome to Lean and Clean with Fitness Chef Christine, where I try to share some easy recipes that are super healthy to make your journey a little bit better. Okay, so today we're gonna do a sheet pan dinner that I love because if you know, our theme has been pack your life with veggies, right? And we try to hide the veggies whenever possible, but this one you're gonna definitely see those veggies. If you have your broccoli and it's too big, break it up. That is not a problem. So you just wanna get it to about bite-sized pieces. So that's one bag of broccoli. I'm gonna add one more bag of broccoli because this is going to be for 4 people. So we need lots of broccoli. Again, we just break it up with our hands if you have big pieces that are too big. Obviously you could use a knife if you want to, but the idea is that we don't want a ton of dishes to do. On one pan. This is perfect in the summertime where you don't have a lot of time, but you still want to eat something terrific. All right, so that's my oven timer going off. We have got 2 bags of broccoli going on in there. Chopped broccoli. I'm going to add 1 can of artichoke hearts that have been drained. These are chopped, so they'll go nice in there. Good. And then I'm going to do a handful of spinach, maybe 2. Spinach, when you cook it, it cooks down to nothing, but it has great nutrients, so we want to make sure we add it in there. And then, of course, we need our tomatoes. Yummy, yummy. We're going to season all this up really well. In truth, I probably should have seasoned the broccoli beforehand, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and add some salt on there now and move your spinach leaves out of the way. You salt your broccoli before you put your spinach on there, okay? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put our tomatoes in there. And then I have this wonderful olive and feta in olive oil. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of that olive oil because it's so good with all the olive brine to it. I'm just gonna use that. You could use just plain olive oil if that's what you've got. Drizzle a little bit on there, and salt and pepper our tomatoes, and then we're going to hit it with some Italian seasoning. And you see how quickly this goes, and it makes a lot. Now obviously it's going to cook down quite a bit because it's going to be the oven for 20 minutes, but it really packs great flavor and a lot of vegetables in there, which is again our goal. We want to get as much flavor as we can while still maintaining the amount of goodness that it tastes. All right, I'm gonna add 1 container of spinach artichoke. Now, if you like it better, you can use goat cheese. Herb goat cheese is wonderful, but some in my family don't goat cheese. Those crazy nuts. So we're gonna use the spinach artichoke, which will go nicely with the artichokes that we put in there. All right, so I'm gonna add that in there, in the center. And that will create more of a lovely sauce. So we're gonna go ahead and put that right in. Don't freak out the amount because it is for 4 people, so we're all good. And then we have our chicken. I'll move this aside just a little bit. We have our chicken. And I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil to the chicken. And I'm going to add some of these olives and with the feta. And I'm gonna keep the olives whole because they're gonna cook anyway. I'm just gonna stir it around with my knife, which is weird. Again, I'm trying not to use every thing I have in my kitchen. I'm gonna add a little black pepper here. I'm gonna go pretty aggressive. And then finally, we're gonna add some more of that dry Italian seasoning. And then before it's done, I'm gonna add some fresh herbs as well, because I really like to maintain that freshness. Okay. So, get that all stirred up in there. I'll grab my handy dandy tongs, put that aside in a nice safe place there. Making sure that all of that is coated with those herbs. And we're just gonna lay it right in there. Try and snatch your Just lay it right on top of your veggies. As the veggies cook down, we're gonna get that chicken right in there. The chicken juices are gonna help the flavor of the vegetables. Add some of those olives in there. Make sure you space them out. And the rest of the olives. Just go ahead and put those on there. There we go. All right. This is gonna go in the oven for 20 minutes at 400 degrees, and then we'll take it out. I'll show you what it looks like. It's gonna be creamy and delicious, and it's super fast and simple. All right, let's put that in there, and we'll talk about the next thing. I'm one of those people that when you make one dish, you should make more than one dish, because the oven's already heated up, and you just take advantage of that situation. So I'm gonna grab another pan, and I'm gonna show you another one. My son cannot eat chicken. He is allergic to chicken. So the first meal would not be for him because he can't have it. We're gonna do one with some lamb chops. First, I've got some sliced zucchini, and I bought it already sliced. And you might think, just take the time to slice it yourself. But it's okay to take some shortcuts sometimes. And we're gonna salt all of that. And then I bought some already chopped up peppers and onions. I'm gonna go ahead and spread those on there. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of green peppers in an effort to save some time. It's a good thing to have on hand. So we're gonna go ahead and add some pepper to those. We've got a little bit of olive oil. Now you know, of course, everything is sanitized in between things, so when we take a break, that's what I do. But I'm gonna go ahead and throw all this out, and we're gonna pop this in the oven at 400 degrees and let this get cooking, because when we do our lamb chops, we only need to put it under the broiler. So it only takes a few minutes on each side. We don't want them to overcook. So this will go in and roast first, and then we'll do our lamb chops. All right, let me throw this out. I'll show you what we're doing. Putting this in on the second shelf. So everything's gonna cook at the same time. We'll have 2 meals in 25 minutes. How cool is that? Let me show you what we're gonna do with our lamb chops. I did say we were gonna do it all in a sheet pan, but I decided to add some potatoes to the mix. So I've got these little potatoes that I cut in half, and I've got some cold water where they're soaking, as this is the second soak. So I rinsed them in cold water, and now they're in cold water again. I'm gonna add a half a teaspoon of baking soda to that water, so that when they go in the oven, they're gonna crisp up very quickly. All right, so we're gonna give these a little boil until they're softening, and then we'll add them to the sheet pan that's already in the oven. All right, so here is my little lamb chops. If you don't like that and you want to use steak bites, that's absolutely acceptable. You could also keep it vegetarian and do tofu bites. So there's many options. Do you? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and add those right into the thing here. Good. And as always, we add salt and pepper. And some salt. I'm gonna salt it rather aggressively. And we're gonna add some za'atar seasoning. So it's a good Middle Eastern seasoning that I really like. There we go. And I'm fairly aggressive with that, so you want to get it good and coated. All right, let's get in there and just give it a little mixy mix and churn. And we need a little bit on the other side, so we're going to sprinkle, sprinkle. There's not really a measurement. I just make sure that it's all coated on there. And it's a very lean lamb, so I'm gonna add just a touch, just a tiny drizzle of olive oil in there. And then, after our veggies are done, I'm gonna move those veggies out to the side and put the lamb chops in the center before I turn them on to broil. They're gonna broil about 3 minutes on each side or so. I like them medium rare, but if you like them longer, obviously you can turn it off or broil and leave it in the oven for a little bit. That resting time should get that going. So now you're just gonna rest until the veggies are done. You actually want your meat to be at room temperature before you start to cook it, so that it cooks quickly and evenly. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna leave it there until those veggies are ready. All right, so at 20 minutes, I flip the chicken over, and then I let it continue cooking until the chicken's at 165. That is the magic number that we have for safe food. So now I'm going to take it off the sheet pan and I'm going to toss it into a large bowl. Now I know I said that we want to make sure that we, use as little pans as possible, but this will help us toss it without making a giant mess. So that's what we're going to do. Put that chicken in there because we want to get that cheese and all that yummy goodness in there together. Let's see if I can do this a different way. This pan is still quite hot, but I think we can do it. If you find that your veggies are drying out a little bit, feel free to add a 1/4 cup of chicken stock or heavy cream. That is optional, but it certainly does help everything stay moist and yummy. All right, so now that we've got it all mixed in there and everything has some yummy goodness to it, I usually top it with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. And I put it back in, turn back. Now that it's all tossed together, like I said, you could do this right in the pan. I find it much easier to put it in the bowl and then replace it into the pan. So I'm gonna put it back on the pan, top it with a little bit of mozzarella cheese, and we're gonna put it back in the oven until it melts. You know how I am. I don't buy grated cheese if I can help it because I don't like all the added caking agents that they put on it. Take just a second. You don't even need to shred it up or anything. You can just put it in slices. It makes your life nice and easy. Just press it down. You can actually cut right through the plastic wrap and just peel it off. And just cut it, peel off the extra plastic on the outside, place it down. So I'm just gonna cover up as I go here. And then I'm going to show you what I'm doing with my potatoes. Remember the potatoes that we boiled in baking soda water and a little bit of salt. They're nice and soft now, and I'm going to go ahead and finish those in the air fryer, and then we'll put our lamb chops in with our cooked vegetables that we did, our onions and our peppers, and we're going to add a little bit of seasoning to those. So this is going back into our oven for that cheese to get all melty and everything to come together lovely. It tastes great already. I already tasted a little bit. And I almost forgot, we're gonna add a few sun-dried tomatoes in there. So, just right on top. And one last one. You can use a fork or whatever. But, my family's used to me. Okay, let's continue on. So here's our potatoes that we boiled. I'm just putting them in the basket of the air fryer, and I'm gonna add just a touch of olive oil across the top, a little bit of salt, give it a good shaky shake. You can add some Italian seasoning if you like it. I'm gonna put it on 350 until they're nice and crispy. So the way I do it to make my life easy is I always start out at 20 minutes and then I adjust it from there because I don't really want to fuss around. All right, here we go. There's our veggies that are on there. I have moved all of our veggies to the side. And we're going to go ahead and add our lamb, which has been seasoned. Put that right in there, right in the center. What's gonna happen is these are gonna go into the broiler, and I'm lucky because I have 3 ovens, so I can do one on the top and a couple on the bottom, and we're gonna go ahead and get these broiled so they have a nice crispy outer side. We'll flip them over and we'll do that on the other side, and then any remaining amount of cooking time will be in the oven that's turned off, so it'll just have a good resting period to come to temperature. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start our broiler on that one. So broil and start. We'll get these in there, and then I'll come back, I'll show you how nice and brown and beautiful they are. Everything is done now. And this is what we're actually eating for dinner. So this is the actual food. When I make something for video, it's what we actually eat. So this is the plate of the chicken. You can see it's got some nice cheese on there. This is all the broccoli, the spinach, and the vegetables. They're super good. And then for my son who doesn't eat chicken, he gets the lamb, and the potatoes and all the veggies that went with that one. And then my husband gets a combo of both of them because he likes a lot of variation. So I hope that you'll try the recipes, and if you have any problems with them, you can always contact me. I always leave my email address in the show notes along with the recipes and all the links to get in touch with me. So please make sure that you subscribe. It is free. And make sure you leave a review. It helps us get the word out, and we really appreciate it. So have a great night. Make sure that you're hydrating. Make sure that you're moving. Make sure that you're fueling your body. And I'll see you next time. Much love and prayers for each of you.